7 sacred places. The world's most extraordinary spiritual sites. Look at that. You can see some of them right here. This is wild. You see Stonehenge at the top. And look at all these symbols right here. We were looking a little bit at this book earlier, my last live video. It's like I've not seen those before. I know that looks like Ankh, like the Ankh of the Sumerians. That right there does. That's Christianity. That looks like Islam. That looks like Judaism or Jewish. Yeah, look at that. I know we're going to look at it. We're going to look at it. Hello there, God's girl. We're going to look at this. We are. I've got this opened up right here. I'm on the other side of my room. Look at this right here. This is what they used to do. This was, let me turn this light out. The temple ruins, the temple of Apollo at Delphi. The center, Delphi is the center of the world. Hello there, Nicola Knight, Sally. Hello, y'all just tuning in. We're going to look at this. I did not know. Did you know that? Delphi is the... Al, honey, is that you? We got a field trip. Yes, we do, Al, honey. Look at this. Delphi. The temple of Apollo. Delphi is the center of the world. Legend claims that to locate this point, Zeus dispatched 2 eagles from the ends of the earth where they met. A great stone fell from heaven to mark the navel of the world. Wow, I did not know that. Did you know that? Is what it says. Delphi is the center of the world, and according to Greek mythology, two eagles met and a great stone fell from heaven to mark the navel of the world. The Omphalos. Homer recounts how Apollo chose this site for his shrine by killing Python, the dragon and the son of Gaia. Gaia, isn't Gaia supposed to be Mother Earth? I got to take my shoes off, y'all. I'm going to get hot, so I'm going to take my shoes off. I know I'm going to get hot. I'm already getting hot. Gina, get your shoes out of the way. You're standing on sacred ground. I'm standing on sacred ground. We're at the center of the world. Wow. It had been the serpent's task to guard the gorge where Gaia exuded vapors that sent those who inhaled them into a trance, giving them the gift of prophecy. Wow, you just tuning in. Hello, you all. Let's hope that YouTube let this video get out, because this is on. Did you know that Delphi is the center of the world? It is considered the navel of the world. Oh my gosh. That is wild. It is. Grace for a purpose. This is Delphi, the temple ruins. Apollo took over the place, installing the priestess Pythia to announce his bidding, and this was communicated through the ambiguous oracular pronouncements that invariably required interpretation. The navel of the world, the center of the world is Delphi. There's something to all of that. Oh, the temple of Nemesis. Well, I'm sure that's not going to have a picture, you all. I had opened it up to that. Look, the Acropolis. The Acropolis in Athens. Wow. That's kind of wild. Yes, the seers. Isn't that interesting? Oh, we got to look at that. There are seers. It is said, let's read that again. We're talking about this right here. Homer, you know Homer's Iliad, Homer, he recounts how Apollo chose this site for his shrine by killing Python, a dragon and the son of Gaia. It had been the serpent's task to guard the gorge where Gaia exuded vapors that sent those who inhaled them into a trance, giving them the gift of prophecy. I want to know what Python looks like, you all. Wow. Let me see if I can get my keyboard over here. I'm going to see if I can get on the internet and see what Python looks. Let me get this cursor. Am I using a dragon mouse? And I just talked about the dragon. This is the computer on the other side of my room right here, because this is my main desk right here. I'm using a dragon. Wow. We're going to see what Python. Who is Python and Gaia? Oh, we're going to find out Gaia. Going to type in Gaia and Python. Gaia and Python is a language. Python is a programming language, is it not? Oh my gosh. Okay, it's Python. Gaia was the goddess of the earth. In Greek mythology, Gaia, the goddess of the earth, is the mother of Python, a huge serpent that guarded the Delphic oracle. The ancient earth goddess and the mother of many strange creatures, including Python, Cyclops, Heterochneres, and the Titans. The Oracle of Delphi. Doesn't Paul speak about the Oracle of Delphi? Let me see that. Let me see the show. We are going to go to the sacred sites. Paul and Oracle. Why is that in my mind? Okay. All right. Look at this. The Oracle of Delphi revisited. We begin with Paul's encountering a woman who possessed by a spirit of divination. In the Greek, this is literally the spirit of Python. Wow. See, they did that. That's what I thought. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? He was en route. En route. Why was he en route? Why was he going to the Oracle of Delphi? Does anybody know why he wanted to go there? Well, look at this. The Delphic oracle, also known as the Pythia, it was said that she channeled the god Apollo, who would come to temporarily possess her. Paul and the oracles of an apocalypse spirit is communicated through the word of God. Paul and the oracle. That's really interesting. There we are right here. Look at this, you all. Look at that. This is the center of the earth. The center of the earth. This is considered the navel of the world. Wow, this is great. I love that. I love it. See, we found out something new. Wow. That is... The god Apollo. Okay, we're going to go. We're going to give the center. But we were told that Africa was the center of creation. And that's the center of the world. Oh, wait a second. Let's look up here, y'all. I'm going to look up there. Delphi. The Temple of Delphi. Temple of Delphi. I want to see what it looks like today. Look at it. There it is. Whoa, look at the pillars. How many pillars are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't see all the pillars, but there they are. It's on top of a mountain top. Look at that. Look at all of that. It's got some reconstruction. Central of Greece. It got destroyed. Who destroyed it? According to the legend, the first temple of Apollo at Delphi was made of laurel branches. The second of beeswax and feathers. That's really interesting. Look at that. It was this temple right here. Center of the world. The first was laurel branches. The second was beeswax and feathers. The third was of bronze, and the fourth was built by the legendary architects of the Trophonios and the Agamaids, aided by Apollo himself. This was probably the stone temple. Okay, look, the fourth. We're talking about the temples again. Building of the temples. And it's like we're in the fourth, we're getting ready to have a reset, right? A reset. And this is the fourth, I don't even know what to call it. It's not the Industrial Revolution. It's the fourth. It's the steel era. I don't even know how you would call it. Yes. Apollos is not hollow. Apollo is not hollow. Wow. It was destroyed by fire. Huh. UNESCO World Heritage. The Pan-Hellenic Sanctuary of Delphi, where the Oracle of Apollo spoke, was the site of the Omphalos, the navel of the world. That's interesting. Okay, we read about that. You can see it, the temple that once existed. Yeah. So now let's keep looking. You know, okay, I had turned on that for another reason. Okay, but then I flipped over to here. And then look at this. This is, let me see if I can get this on here. The grotto of the birth of Christ in Bethlehem. This is how it looks. That's how it looks. Isn't that interesting? Did you know? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? I like that song. Bethlehem is one of the most important Christian sacred places. Jesus is said to have been born here in the grotto. I never heard of the word grotto before. Let me read that. The place has been venerated since the 2nd century. The Roman Emperor Hadrian, I never heard of Hadrian. The Roman Emperor Hadrian had it converted into a grove dedicated to Adonis. But in 339, the Emperor Constantine, a convert to Christianity, built a church here. However, this was destroyed in the 6th century. The Eastern Roman Emperor Justinian renovated the remains of the church in 540, creating a 5-navel basilica. That's interesting. Well, isn't that interesting? I guess a grotto is an angel, is a manger. Is a grotto a manger? Let's look it up, a grotto. Grotto, manger. Oh, sorry, I'm too close to it. I've never seen this before. Okay. The Grotto of the Nativity, a small altar in the grotto of the manger is dedicated to the adoration of the Magi, the three wise men described in Matthew's gospel as coming from the east. There it is. Look at that. Oh, I can't make it bigger. That's on the inside of it. So it looks like this on the outside. And this is what it looks like up close. This is on the inside. Isn't that interesting? That's very interesting. Wow. I thought it was something that was way above ground, like this great big area. And but it's not. It's just it's right there. Oh, okay. We're looking at a book. It says 1,000 Sacred and Spiritual Places. Let's see. So I looked at that. So there was something else. What is this? The Jain. Listen. Look at all these different religions, you all. Listen to me. There's thousands of religions and spiritual, all kinds of spiritual beliefs in the world. Thousands of sacred places. Christianity is just one. Islam is just one. Judaism is just one. Mormonism is just one. There's so many more. So many more. It's very, very diverse. Hold on a second. Let me look at this. You got to take some yoga classes. This is, oh yeah, this is what we were seeing. The Yongang Grottos. So somebody must have been the grottos. Mountains were always of great sights. Significant. There it is right there. The Yongang Grotto Datang. The mudra of fear, with his right hand extended upward to the palm. I don't know what that is. This is what these are. These are temples. Let me show you that. Great significance in the life of Buddha. Cosmology. Buddhists considered the mountains among the most sacred of places, and the temples and the statues are often carved into the living rock mountains. Look, they're calling the mountains living rocks. Wow. Well, this reminds me of something. It does. Reminds me of something. Listen. Look, this right here. Even the rocks would cry out is a quote from the Bible where Jesus says, I tell you, if these were silent, the very stones would cry out. Would cry out. And according to Buddha, the rocks are living, the mountains, you all. This is a lot of truth here. See, we're not supposed to talk about stuff like this because, you know, we're supposed to be talking about more dramatic things. Yeah. Oh, it's the Dead Seas. Let me flip it. The Dead Sea and the Qumran Caves. This is sacred places. Look, they got the Mosque of Abraham. This is the caves. Most of cultures and religions in our world regard the sea as the source of life. Look at that. The sea as the source of life, and scientific study of the ocean support the same conclusion. A large part, some 70%, let me put this here, just hold it for me. Okay, I got it. I have to put my little Scorpio thing there. 70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water, and when viewed from space, ours is a blue planet. The oceans lie in the deep and the wide folds of Earth's what? Earth's crust. And they are inexhaustible and full of hidden power. Currents keep the bodies of water in constant motion so that the sea is formless. Bounded only by its coastlines and shores, it is both glorious, beautiful, and threatening. In modern psychology, the sea is the symbol of the unknown. Okay, the Dead Sea is a salt lake in the Jordan Rift Valley with a special place among the seas. Right there, the Dead Sea. I got the Dead Sea. Wow. They are. You can see how the water went through them. Let's look up the Dead Sea on here. The Dead Sea. Let me see it. The Dead Sea. Dead Sea. There it is. Right there. Look. Right there. It's the Dead Sea, but it's got water. Let's get the image of the Dead Sea. Look at that. They look like stalagmites or stalactites or something, don't they? If you look at that. Coming up out of the water, or that's not a good picture, but let's see. Dead Sea Scrolls. Let me type in the scrolls. Let's type in the scrolls. They found was the Sumerian tablets found in there, or just the Dead Sea Scroll? There they are right there. The Dead Sea Scrolls. They were found in the mountains near Jerusalem. They're just fragments in a jar. Right there. Hello. Yeah. So we saw that. This is the Wailing Wall. Let's see the Wailing Wall. That's that's me. Gina, honey, can you get your camera? I can get it pointed around. This is the Wailing Wall. You know what they do at the Wailing Wall? When you put your prayers in there, they go by and they take your prayers out of the wall. They do. Out of the cracks in the walls. They take everybody's papers out. They don't stay in there forever. Yeah, as well as from water. Thank you, Grace. The field trip refreshments. This is the Temple Mount. Look, and there is the temple right there too. Wow. Let's see the Dome of the Rock. Let me look at this. It was Jerusalem. The Church of St. Peter. Let me see Mount Calvary. Let's see this. That was Mount Zion. Okay, that's Mount Zion right there, you all. Church of the Dormition on Mount Zion. Biblical tradition locates the house of Caiaphas, the high priest who first interrogated Jesus after his arrest, on the eastern slopes of Mount Zion. It was in the courtyard of this house that Peter shed bitter tears after denying Christ 3 times before the cock crowed, and thus modern church built on the remains of an ancient 4th century Christian pilgrimage site known as St. Peter in Gallicantu at Cock's Crow. Isn't that interesting? Greece, this, wow. Ah, let me see this. I'm going to go backwards. Russia, we're going to go to Russia. They got the monastery in Greece. The Palace of Crete. Look at that. We showed this earlier. They destroyed that too. Look, it's like all these things. 1375 BC, at the latest palace, had been finally and completely destroyed. It's like throughout history, the sacred places get destroyed time and time again. Oh, wow. The ruins of the palace. The Arcadi Palace. Isn't that interesting? The Church of Christia, what, Okara? I'm going to try to turn this page. The pilgrimage. I worked with a teacher back in Maryland. She was required to do the Hajj, and she did. She was around 50 some odd years old. She was of the Baha'i faith, and there were some who did not like the Baha'i faith. It's just like Christianity. You have break-offs of that. Well, the Baha'i ones, they weren't very well liked by other ones. They weren't. She was fine for me. I liked her. She was a diamond in the rough. A diamond in the rough. We got these two. The cathedral. I want to see these other ones. That is, these are just like, they're like castles. St. Mary's Church. Yeah. St. Paul. Pope John Paul at the Madonna. Okay, now look, we have the Black Madonna of Czestochowa, a small town not far from Krakow, is located in a region known as the Little Poland. Documented in 1220. That's a long time ago. The nearby village, the Bright Mountain, was the site of a pilgrimage dedicated to the worship of an icon, the Virgin Mary, painted in 1430 by the Hussites. See, the Hussites. The image was divided into 3 sections and brought to Krakow, where it was repainted on a wooden panel and lately solemnly returned. Okay, it was painted on a wooden panel. Right there, you see, you just tuning in. These are sacred places. I want to see this. Hold on. Now we're in St. Petersburg, Russia. This is the Valum Monastery. Valum. We got a Valum and a Vavum. There was a Valum. Wow, look at that. Some chapels. I want to see the real sacred sites. I really do. The ones we saw one earlier, and it was twisted. It had a twirl in it. And I can't remember where it was at. It had a big twirl. And I'm trying to find it. And we're on the Temple of Delphi again. Why are we talking about the Temple of Delphi? Apollo in Didyma. The Temple of Apollo in Didyma. Apollo had temples everywhere? Did he? The entire temple is enclosed. Let's leave that. The entire temple is enclosed by a double colonnade at the end of the sacred road, the path of the city of Milet to Didymus. Didyma. There is a giant portal allowing access to the consecrated area with its grove of sacred laurel trees. Do you think when they say portal, what if it really is an actual portal in that place right there? And there were 2 tunnels which led down into a cella, which was not roofed and consists of a large open inner courtyard with walls of height of over 66 feet. And there was another small temple. So they had tunnels here. Yeah, you just tuning in. We were done. I thought we were too, Al, but he has some temple in Didyma in Turkey. In Turkey. The god Apollo. I want to know all the names of the god of Apollo. Let's see if we can find all the names of the god of Apollo. The names of Apollo. Let me see. Oh, I get myself confused. I can't see up here. I got my keyboard stuck in a tight spot. That's okay. Okay, now we got the names of Apollo. I'm getting myself twisted. Wait, let's see a picture of him first. The god Apollo. Well, okay, there's his statue right there. Apollo. All right. Oh, and we got Apollo. Look at that. The crew for Apollo 11. Grissom Air Force Base. Grissom Air Force Base is where my husband that was his first duty station in Indiana. Wow, this is Apollo 1, Apollo 11. Behind the name, it's a godly figure. Look, Apollo, the ship, Apollo God. Oh, wow. What are we going to read this? Let me see that. The names of Apollo. We can see them right here. You just tuned in. This is really interesting. It is. Where else do you see those statues? The statues are in museums and stuff. They are. Let's see these names right here. Phoebus, the most common epithet of Apollo, meaning the bright and shining. Okay, now you know who this is sounding like. Phoebus is the most common epithet of Apollo, meaning the bright or shining. Okay. Wait a second. Then we got to do this, you all. We're going to have to do it. Well, Jesus is considered the bright and morning star. All right. And Satan is also, why are both Jesus and Satan referred to as the bright and morning star? Okay. The shining ones. Remember, there's like, there's alien or, well, I don't like to say alien. There are beings called the shining ones. Let's see where we can find out. Okay, we got them. The shiny ones are the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, and the giants. The shining ones. And we got the names of Apollo, the bright and shining. Yeah, both gods. All right, let's look at this. Apollo Asatius, the name used to worship Apollo at the temple of Elis, referring to his role as a healer. Apollo was a healer. Oh, come on now. Was Apollo a healer? Let's got to look it up. Was Apollo a healer? There we go. In time, Apollo became identified as the god of healing and as the father of Cronus, of Asclepius, the god of medicine. According to his legend, medicine was communicated by Apollo and his sister Artemis to the centaur Chiron. We just had Chiron sometime. This is just this past year. Chiron came up in the sky. Made an appearance. It was some kind of celestial event with Chiron. What was it? Because I know I specifically remember hearing Chiron in a celestial event that occurred this year, along with someone else. Was it the 12:12? Elohim. Yes, thank you, Emmy Ellie. The shining ones, Elohim. Yeah. Now, let me write that in. Let me write, you said that. Let me just open up another page. Yeah, let me see it. Elohim. Elohim. Some people, look at how they're writing it. Some people try to connect Elohim from the Hebrew scriptures to the shining ones. However, the meaning is more complex. Eastward, in the Garden of Eden, the shining ones. There we go. Yahweh Elohim. That implies the older document refers to the being who became westernized as God. That's what it says. Westernized as God. Lucifer is a translation of the Hebrew Heliel, which means lucent or shiny, or sometimes bright. The full name phrase, shining one, son of the morning star. All right, you all. What's the Bible say about them? Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. The name Lucifer translates as a light bearer or a shiny one. Who are the Elohim? Oh, look. It says, who are the Elohim in Psalm 82? Jesus alludes directly to Psalm 82, where Elohim, gods, receive the word of God in the form of judgment and condemnation. Against his accusers, Jesus was appealing to the precedent already established in the Torah, which referred to God's holy ones or his divine council. Wow, I didn't know that. Does the serpent mean shiny one? Nahash? A snake, or to an impressive angelic shining being? Deceiver or diviner? Wow, you all, this has got a lot of stuff going on right there. This is like, it goes really deep. It's like big rabbit holes. Look. Who is Elohim in Psalm 91? He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, who abides under the shadow of the Almighty. He is saying, my refuge and my stronghold, my Elohim, in whom I trust. For he delivers you from the snare of the trapper, from the destructive pestilence. So you can see that there is different translations, different references. Pretty interesting it is. Well, we was looking at the temple. of Apollo is looking at the different names of Apollo. Yeah, I'm sorry. Gina, honey, I thought you was doing something. Well, I wanted to see all the different names of Apollo. Apollo, a Celtic, the Celtic epithet, meaning the great horseman, possessing a great horse. Apollo Belenus, a Celtic, a bright and brilliant. The shrine, the Hound Lord, Apollos Granus, a healing spring god, later equated with Apollo. Inscriptions in Britain, Apollo at Elysia, masses of seawater, the god of healing of the eyes, whose temple was located, and the benefactor of mankind. Well, who's supposed to be the benefactor? Okay, now listen to me. I'm just really thinking. He is also known as the averter of evil, the benefactor of mankind. You see all these different attributes? That's really interesting. Okay, we're still going on. We're looking in Turkey. The Church of St. Nicholas Demir. Yes, it does. It made me dizzy too, Lelia. So I had to get out of it. I did. I had to. It went, what is that? Mount Ararat. Mount Ararat. It's in Argidagi. It's Noah's legendary landfall on the summit of a mountain of the Turco-Russian border. Is one of the oldest Armenian legends and continues to attract people to the impressive site. The mountain rises from the surrounding lowlands, which only increase the effect of the majestic appearance. Ararat is the place from which mankind spread across the earth for the second time. Many of those who climb the mountain think they recognize a fragment of the ark or wooden splinter they find, taking it with them as a precious souvenir. Well, they said it may not be the place. But the problem is Turkey wouldn't let people truly go up there by themselves. Yes. Turkey and Russia. Well, I would guard that mountain too. I would guard it from those who like to rob sacred sites, who like to desecrate it. If I wanted something to stay intact or something, I would keep the people away from it. The second, that's right, the second. So how many times has civilization started over? Quite a while, probably. Look, this is the rock church of Gorim. We're still in Turkey. It's carved into the mountains because the mountains were living. No, it's the monk caves. The Greek word for the Levant, where this, okay, sun comes up. It was Christianity in Anatolia. Anatolia begins with Apostle Paul journeys and the rock churches and the monk refugees. Wow, look at that. It was the soft rock combined with the remoteness of the location that led the monks to seek their refuge here. In addition to the monks' cave, there was a great many rock churches, most of which have been cut from the soft stone. More than 150 such churches have been recorded, and the majority of the most impressive are found along the Gorim Valley, with the oldest dating back to the 6th century. Wow. The use of plain symbols and motifs copied from Muslim art was adopted. Wasn't the ancient writing started in the Middle East? Writing started in the Middle East, right? That's where it originated from. Oh, let me do this. Writing originated. There we go. Writing began over 5,000 years ago in the developing urban culture of southern Mesopotamia known as Uruk the Fourth. At first simple pictures were scratched on a stone or clay tablets. Did the Middle East, which country? Mesopotamia, present day Iraq. Well, it is said that Iraq is supposed to be this cradle. Let's look at that, you all. Iraq, the cradle of civilization. Let me write that. Okay. Iraq is known as the cradle of civilization because it was the home to the world's first cities, writing, and agriculture. And the Temple of Delphi is known as the center of the earth. It's the navel of the earth, the center of the earth. And then Iraq is hey, that's me. The cradle of civilization. Notice they use 5,000. That's 4,800 BC before Christ. It has been a cradle since 4,800 BC. The first systems of writing of justice are believed to have originated in Sumeria and Babylon, which is now Iraq. The name Iraq derives from the Arabic meaning the fertile. This land has nurtured diverse religions and ethnic groups. The cradle of civilization. And the first, look, 10,000 to 3,000 BCE. And what happened? When they rushed into the race to Baghdad. The race to Baghdad. Did they get a Stargate from Baghdad? Is that what they wanted to do, get a Stargate? We know that they got a lot of artifacts before they kind of destroyed stuff. And isn't that where the giants were? The red-headed giant or something came out of the caves? Yeah. The Stargate, Al, honey, is that what happened? The race to Baghdad. Why did they need a Stargate? The Stargate in Baghdad. We got to look that up. Stargate in. Hold on. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, in. Okay, look. Okay, so they got fact-checked. Did U.S. invade Iraq? Okay, so they got fact-checked. Whenever they do a fact-check, you know they're going after the truth to try to shut it up. I don't like the word shut it up. It's okay. We're going to see how come they got fact-checked by USA or Newsweek. The ancient Stargate, you all. Oh, wow. Look at this. By Iraq. They fact-checked it. Did U.S. invade Iraq to access the ancient Stargate? It's been nearly 2 decades. When was this written? Oh, wow. This was recent, 2022. Oh, we got to see this. It has been nearly 2 decades since the U.S. invaded Iraq in 2003. Theories into the U.S. rationale behind the invasion continue to spread. Oh, yeah, we want to know it. Since the invasion, many hypotheses have been floated from the official line about preventing the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction to others by the war critics that involve oil and geopolitical interests. You have to ask yourself, why didn't they bomb and destroy the areas? Totally demolish them. Why did they just have to race? They could have dropped big bombs and destroyed sites if they thought something was at. They could have. They sure could have. Wow. Look at that building. Let's see this, you all. There's something going on here. It's the Great Ziggurat. It's the Great Ziggurat is a of Ur. Of Ur, isn't that where Noah? Who is it from the land of who went the land of Ur? Which biblical person was it? The land of Ur. Oh, it wasn't Noah, it was somebody else. I want to know what the Bible said about Ur. Somebody came from Ur. Bible and is Abraham and I gotta see it, you all. I gotta look at it. I wanna see it. Gilgamesh. Okay. Abraham. Okay, it was Abraham. In the Bible, Ur refers to the city where Abraham originated, specifically called the Ur of the Chaldees, and is mentioned in the book of Genesis as the place from which Abraham left to travel to the land of Canaan as instructed by God. It is considered to be located in the ancient Mesopotamian, modern-day Iraq, the land of Ur. Was Haran's birthplace. Yeah, you are. That's right. That's right, Al, honey. His father has, yes, the land of Ur. Okay, we're looking at the fact check. This was the ziggurat. This is the land where Abraham originated from. The ziggurat was believed to have an ancient stargate. Let's ask ourselves, did they bomb that area? Did the United States bomb the ziggurat in Iraq? Get destroyed. Let's see that. Let's see if they destroyed it. Some have been destroyed, including the Nimrod of Babylon. The ziggurat of Ur was partially reconstructed by Saddam, and the rebuilt was damaged by small arm fires and explosion. Did it survive? Only the first two tiers now survive. The excavation of the ziggurat in 1922 sparked a brief craze for tiered buildings. In the 1980s, it was partially reconstructed by Iraqi president. Wow. ISIS has destroyed a nearly 3,000-year-old Assyrian ziggurat by Nimrod. You know, what if these ziggurats, you think they all had like stargates or something in them? I'm supposed to be reading that fact check. The conspiracy theory says the Iraq's historical landmark, the Great Ziggurat of Ur. This is the real reason we invaded Iraq. The ancient alien stargate located in the Great Ziggurat of Ur in Iraq. The ancient alien stargate. Well, it looks like it's been well preserved. Wow. That for Nimrod DNA. Pictures of the Stargate. Did it or did it not happen? Let's see. I want to see the Stargate. Today, it stands remarkably well preserved in a remote pit of Iraq's Dikwa province, according to the Madain Project. an online archive of Abrahamic history and archaeology. Let me look at that. The Great Ziggurat. Right there. Look, oh wow, look at that. I could see where a Stargate could be inside there. Isn't that interesting? They discovered it. No, get that off of there. I don't want to look at it. Let's look at that. This is what it looked like. It was kind of buried. You know, they had the technology in the airplanes to fly over and locate these things underground. Remember Hitler? He went all over the place. What was Hitler looking for? Was he looking for stargates? Do you think he was? The Madane project, yeah. I know Hitler was looking for things. They're gonna look how big this is. Approaching the summit staircase, the staircase. Look at that. They go up there to the top. It's via the central space. The monumental stairs lead only to the lowest courts of the facade were rebuilt. Wow, this is what, let's see if this is what it looked like. Is that what it looks like now? That surely is not what it looks like now. Or maybe this is what it looked like back in the day. Wow, look at that. I would say back in the day. That is a massive city. Oh, thank you, Zerbuya. Wow. Isn't that interesting? They got a shrine of Nana. So they are uncovering a lot of the stuff. The Nephilims, yeah. Let me look at these. This is where people say there's star. Oh, what's that? Inscription. I guess how it was laid out. The Great Ziggurat. Let's look at that. Early Bronze Age. From Iran and Iraq, people, it was best preserved. Oh. The god Nana, King Nabonidus. Somebody made an appearance there. It's made of mud and brick. Wonder who made it. Wow. The Ziggurat of Ur. Kind of like the temple, the pyramids. Oh, that was the Madane. Who? Okay, Al, honey, we got to find out who is responsible for the Madane project. Who are the founders of the Madane founders? Let me look. Egyptologist. Actually, who would be the financiers? Well, it's a very unique resource for study of the three major Abrahamic faiths. No, I'm not going in there. Richardson. Oh, it's a professional community of 1 billion members. Oh, well. That's okay, you all. Looks like they got a lot of ancient stuff right there. Oh, Gina, honey, you already went over an hour. Gilgamesh. Yeah. Just look at this. There's the heads. Look, they're the birds. There's their hats. They're just heads. The shrine sculptures of Nimrut Dagi. Doge. Doge. D-O-G-E. But now we got D-A-G-I. Nimrod. A tomb memorial on Mount Nimrod. It's a pilgrimage. It has oppressive heat. It's 7,220 feet high summit in the often oppressive heat. Beautiful sunrise, Antioch. Look, the shrine is the tomb of Antioch. The first Antiochus or something, I don't know. We got Turkey, the Persians, the Moors, the Turkish tribes, Anatolia. What is this? Nimrod, who gave himself the name of Ephanes, the God incarnate. Large stones. These stones are 160 feet high. There's nothing left to the north terrace. 5 enormous statues were once seated here, flanked in the right and by the left of a giant eagle and a lion. Okay, an eagle, a lion, which were always considered divine. Wow. Okay, the most powerful sun god. They were dedicated to the sun god. A mixture of Apollo, Mithras, and Helios is found to the left, and beside him, majestic, next to Zeus. Okay, these were the heads of the gods. That's really interesting. Yeah. Well, there's too many things in here to even look at. Way too many. Yeah. Oh, this is the thing we saw earlier in Samarra. The Grand Mosque. The ruins of the Grand Mosque in Samarra with its famous spiral minaret that's also in Iraq. Look at that. Wow. It says, although the Abbasid caliphs were only briefly based in Samarra, the city's buildings were legendary and include some of the principal Shiite pilgrimage sites. The Grand Mosque is particularly famous, although not much of it has survived. Its spiral minaret has remained a symbol of triumph, Islam. And the mosque, completed in 852, is made of clay bricks and in its time was the largest in the world. Surrounded by a giant wall, the magnificent selection of buildings was a clear expression of the Abbasid rulers' imperial ambition. It was a destination more important for Muslim pilgrims even than the remains of this world. Famous mosque, the Golden Mosque. This was the most important one, I guess. And then Wow. And we got this. Oh my goodness gracious, Baghdad. The golden temples, the shrines. What on earth is that? The Bodhisattva Samahara, the White Elephant Mount. Oh wow. That's really interesting. The White Elephant Mount in China. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, I gotta go. My legs are getting tired standing here, you all. Why not sitting? Yeah. That is a nice book. I like it. It's got a lot of history in it. But that, let's take a picture of that Stargate. They needed that Stargate in Iraq for something, according to conspiracy theorists. They needed that. We was looking at pictures, and this is my face again, looking at pictures in this book. They wanted that Stargate. They needed the Stargate. And we got to, look, they unearthed the 2,700-year-old winged what? That's the Stargate. Is that the Stargate they got? And that right there looked like a big spider. Well, I wonder how many Stargates were on the Earth. What's that? Do you think that's real? Is this just a movie, The Ring of the Gods? The Ring of the Gods. Remember? 9 were given to the race of men. The Lord of the Rings. The Stargates are the rings. Wow. Yeah. It's not a physical ring, it's the Stargates. The Council of 9, yes. The Council of 9. They're portals. Portals. They show us in that movie Stargate too. Wow. My nose is tickling. The Ring of Doom. So if you like Lord of the Rings, those rings are the Stargates that are on the earth. I think they found them all. Wasn't there some in the ocean too? They didn't have movies how they were looking for a Stargate in the ocean. Yes, and CERN. What if they took that Stargate and they took it to CERN? The CERN got the Stargate. My nose is really tickling. We got to find out if CERN. My nose is tickling on this side. They don't like it. CERN has the Stargate. It looked like a Stargate. Yeah, look at it. Is CERN home to a functioning Stargate? There's a lot of people. The particle accelerator. An ancient particle accelerator was discovered on Mars. The Atlas experiment. Let's look at their Stargate. See, it's shaped like a Stargate. It really is. Look at that. My gosh. Look at that. Where is... hold on a second. You see that? Where is that? Where is that located? The demolition of Ames 14 wind tunnel was a Stargate was discovered. The Dowling device for Stargate has not been found and may have been destroyed in the first part of the demolition. Stargates. Of course, now that looks like someone activated a Stargate during working hours. Do you see that? NASA watch. Okay, I'm looking at this right here. See that blue in the center in that circle? Well, I'm going to tell you about it. When the priest or the pope or whoever the guy was, the holy man, during the Notre Dame, did anybody watch the whole entire ceremony for Notre Dame? Did you? Because the priest in it had a staff like Gandalf. It was a wooden staff and it had a circle in the middle of his staff and it was this color right there and it had that in the middle right there. He took his wooden staff after they would read stuff and he pointed up the bottom of the wooden staff and he walked to the great big wooden door of Notre Dame and he went like this with his step. I forget how many times he did it. Then he went back and then they read a little bit more. Then he went up there and he did it again. And then he came back and then they read a little bit more. And then he went up there and he did it again. And his staff was a wooden staff with a circle in it. And it had a blue thing in it. Just like that. I mean, when pull it up. I recorded that. I did. Was he the priest? The priest, wooden staff at anybody watch that? I wanted to see it. Oh, yes, this archbishop. He was the archbishop. He used his staff. Here's what it is. There, see it right there. It's his staff. He walked up there after they would read something and he tapped on the big door and it reminded me of Gandalf. Look at that. Right there. And he just kept doing it. And once he finished doing his tapping, I don't know how many times he tapped different. Then he walked up and he pushed his hands and he opened it up. And if you remember, Gandalf's staff had something in it too on the Lord of the Rings. I'm going long. Let's look at, well, no, one of them had a circle in the middle of it. Well, his is just a stick of wood. But his stick of wood has something, that's Gandalf the White right there, but he too, he had some kind of gem in his staff. And he has something in his staff. And the mirrors. Oh, I'm done, you all. I done wore myself out. It is 9:16 at night. And yeah, y'all please give this video a thumbs up. See these videos like this? People don't want to watch long videos because they said people only want to watch really short videos. They do. Because the longer the video, they lose interest in it. Yeah. Oh well. I'm going to go. I am good, blue, white, something to help. Yeah. I am going to get you all. So thank you, moderators. Thank you all for watching. They got their stargates, the rings. It's the rings of truth. I guess they found all the rings. Yeah. I'm going to go. And with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you all for watching. This has been fun. You're going to have to look more in these books because this book right here, it takes us to some really interesting sites where we can further explore. They really do. I'm going to go. I got blue lights too. Yeah. Got blue roofs. We got it all. You all too have a wonderful evening. Thank you, moderators. Good night, everyone.